find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, and you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by.
And we're letting the days go by here on the afternoon on the Variety Show here. Normally hosted by Bill DeFabio. I'm Butch Maxwell, and I'm guest hosting for Bill today as he is off to take care of some medical things. Nothing serious, just diagnostic stuff, but we're hoping for the best. And Bill was planning to be back tomorrow, so you'll be in good hands with Bill. Meanwhile, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, and I'm here as usual with Lola Miller. How you doing, Lola?
I am well.
Good. I'm
Kind
glad
of
to be here.
soggy at this point today.
Yeah, it's been wet. You know what? This rain, it was not predicted, was it? I mean, there was no, on the Weather Channel yesterday. I'm on my app. I don't watch. I'm not quite old enough to watch Weather Channel all the time, but I have it on my phone app, and I thought, it looks like it's going to rain. And I looked on the weather. No, it's not going to rain. And then a little while later, Noah's building an ark. It's crazy.
Yeah, that storm yesterday was horrific, absolutely horrific. Oh man.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to lose power here. I did at home.
Did you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, Elm Grove got hit really hard.
Apparently. Yeah.
And I know part of it on National Road anyway, it didn't come on until about 11:15 last night.
Oh, wow.
But there's still parts, I think.
Well, where I live, there's no power.
Really?
There has not been power. And AEP sends me a text and said they estimate it to come back on about 10 o'clock tonight.
Tonight?
Roughly. Yeah, tonight. and it went out, I don't know, about 5 yesterday, something around there. So, it's challenging for a lot of people. It's been difficult to get around. There are trees down, and I'm sure power lines down too. I know. I'm fortunate though. I lived where I live now. In my neighborhood, everybody, when the power would go out, the first couple times the power went out, I would go outside and notice this roar of generators. Everybody is so used to the power going out in this sort of rural area where I live that everybody got a generator. So yes, I fell in line and dropped $10,000 on a generator, but now at least the power's on. But I work from home a lot, and my wife does too, and so that's kind of our lifeline. So. But very challenging. It looks like the rain is mostly tapering off now, if we're to believe the weather forecast, which I'm not sure we can. But it's supposed to have over the next hour or so. There's still supposed to be some drizzle or very light rain, and it's supposed to go away a little bit later in the day. Although throughout the day there's still a chance of rain. However, at least it got rid of those extraordinarily high temperatures. It was really muggy right before the rain, wasn't it?
Well, it still is, truthfully.
Yeah.
It still feels. Now it's just a
but
cool
it's 72 though, so we can handle that. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, well, today's July 1st, brand new month. Big 4th of July weekend's coming up. Most people are taking off on Monday. I think there are some people.
We will be off on Monday too.
Well, you're going to be off here on Monday? Okay, good. Yeah. So let's look forward to that. And then it'll be Tuesday. We'll be back to business. There's a lot of news going on too, other than the local rain and the phenomena of you just can't get there from here everywhere in traffic. It's crazy. So we've got, I guess, sort of the top stories today are Trump and Brittany and Cosby. What a team. But there's news on all three of those folks, and I guess we could just start with the former president. Now, this is not Donald Trump himself, but his company and his chief financial officer are expected to face some criminal charges today. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office is expected to charge former President Donald Trump's namesake company and its chief financial officer, Alan Weisselberg, sometime today with tax crimes in connection with an array of perks and benefits awarded to employees. But this is actually supposed to go down, we think, right around 2 o'clock this afternoon, just about the time I get off the air here. Trump has faced multiple federal and state prosecutorial inquiries during his administration. The district attorney's indictment would be the first to charge his company, the Trump Organization, with allegedly criminal conduct. Now, this is different because there have been lots of civil cases against the Trump Organization, but this is the first actual criminal charge that the organization has been charged with. And again, I want to be clear, this is not Donald Trump himself personally, and he's not expected to be charged at this time. But this could mean a lot of problems for his CFO, Alan Weisselberg, who did surrender to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office this morning ahead of the expected criminal charges that are to be filed against him today. What we know really about this so far is that a Manhattan grand jury filed the indictments on Wednesday, but it was not immediately clear as to how many charges are in those indictments. And the charges are expected to be unsealed sometime today. Trump himself is not expected to be charged, but the indictment itself is the product of more than 2 years of investigation by the district attorney, Cyrus Vance Jr. And this probe began with questions about accounting practices tied to hush money payments that were made by former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen, and eventually led to a Supreme Court fight over a subpoena for Trump's tax documents. It's rare for prosecutors to bring charges solely related to fringe benefits provided by a company. And in recent weeks, lawyers for the Trump Organization met with prosecutors in Vance's office, hoping to persuade them not to bring the case. They say that it's outrageous, it's unprecedented, and it has never happened before, regarding fringe benefits. However, the prosecutors are alleging that these are very serious crimes and that this went far beyond just normal graft. It shows thousands of dollars in payments for cars, rent, tuition, medical bills, and more going from Alan Weisselberg to at least to his son's family. So that's sort of the update on what's going on. Of course, the former president has been out talking about it and saying that this is more of the witch hunt. The witch hunt continues, according to former President Donald Trump. So that's the news on that, as faithfully as I can present it. The other one that's kind of a dicey story is about the former pop star Britney Spears. And as you may or may not have paid much attention to this. I didn't really a great deal. Britney Spears didn't mean much to me. I was well past the age where I cared when she was having her little 15 minutes of fame. But what happened was Britney apparently started acting a little crazy at one point, and doing things outrageously that were an embarrassment to people around her, her friends, her family, and a lot of the support people that worked with her professionally.
She had a complete breakdown, is what it is.
Yeah.
It wasn't just acting a little strange.
Well, yeah, then I was going to get to that. Yeah, then,
okay,
yeah,
sorry.
but you're right, though. You're right. Thank you for that. Yeah, she did have a complete mental breakdown. That's pretty well uncontested, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was, you couldn't avoid it.
Yeah.
Because there were cameras on her continuous.
Right, yeah.
So.
And, and this may be for, a lot of, the pressure on famous people is something that we can't really understand very well. But it's like being, what if lots of people, what if you had a camera on you all the time, broadcasting everything you do to the world, 24/7? It would be really hard. It would be, at
such a young age.
Yeah, at such a young age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so she freaked out, and I think we can understand that. Well, that happened 13 years ago, that the courts intervened and put all of her career, all of her money into a conservatorship. And the court appointed her father. But over time, she has claimed that she should be released from this. She says that she believes that the conservatorship is abusive, and she says, "I just want my life back. It's been 13 years, and it's enough." But she has alleged that she's been forced to take medication against her will, notably lithium, which is a very strong medication, and there have been other medications too. And she says that she's not allowed to take herself off of it, so she said that she felt drunk. She felt like she couldn't stick up for herself. She couldn't even have a conversation with her parents about anything, and so the medication itself is what she's blaming. Now, I don't know. This is very arguable, and this could also be the mental health challenges speaking that we're talking about, and we really don't know. Lithium is a common treatment for bipolar disorder, but it does sort of turn people into like zombies, and they lose a lot of the essence of their life.
What I feel, what the court should look at, especially in the light of the charges she made. Now, the decision that came down yesterday, I guess, had nothing to do with her last court appearance.
Right.
But how many people are making mega millions off of this girl? I mean, there have been reporters that have said that they have gone, like before a show, to interview her, and it was obvious that she was, not quite there, and yet she was forced to go out and, do these. And when, people think, oh, how can you force anybody to do it? Well, first of all, if you're semi-drugged all the time, and you have absolutely no recourse, people are telling you have to do this. I just find it a terrible situation. And she was so closely watched, I think, that she didn't have the opportunity to get to a lawyer that would be her lawyer.
Yes,
not,
someone.
And I find the whole thing, that's like, human trafficking or something.
It is. And
it's terrible.
I've heard people compare it to human trafficking.
And so I hope this latest judge, will take into consideration, all the other people that have truly benefited from her being in this shape.
And we can also try to imagine the scenario. She's having difficulty. She's about ready to perform. She's not, she's freaking out in whatever capacity that might be. And the forces on her, there's a whole, it's kind of a market force. It's not just you, Brittany, but it's this entire organization behind you. We are depending upon you to get out there. So shoot her up with whatever drug, get her through the show, just get her through it. And I'm not saying this is right at all, but I'm saying that this we sort of have to understand how this might happen too. And these aren't necessarily evil people doing these things, but what happens is very damaging to the
Do you
person.
remember the movie The Rose,
Yeah.
which was very, I won't even say loosely based. It was just, on Janis Joplin.
Right, yeah.
That's what they just stick a needle into her butt right through her dress.
Yeah.
That always just really disturbed me.
Yeah.
I think that they would.
Yeah. And it may have been similar things, certainly similar pressures on Britney Spears and the people around her. So it's difficult. And bipolar disorder, if that's indeed what she had, it's also easy to misdiagnose bipolar disorder, because basically bipolar means generally people have swings of depression and mania. these can, my understanding is it's generally long loops, where, not everybody, but everybody's different, but generally there are periods of depression followed by periods, of manic behavior. You don't usually see it all in the same day, but again, that could vary with different people. It's easy to misdiagnose that, especially if it is in those longer cycles. Oh, you're depressed. You've got simple depression or depression anxiety or something like that, and so you're treated for that, and then no, actually it's bipolar, and you've got these periods of mania too. I think a lot of creative people actually do suffer from sort of a bipolar. And like so many other things in life, I don't think it's just an off-on. Either you have it or you don't. You're a little bit bipolar. I'm a little bit ADHD. Something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing we've got to realize. I know I've said this before, but I'm not the type of person myself who thinks in terms of a black and white world. I think it's not just all pluses and minuses, ones and twos like computers see, that there are lots of shades of gray. 50,
I agree.
50 at least, right? So, yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more than that. But, that's good. Did you have any other, I didn't ask you before I moved on, and I always do this. I must be out of practice. What are your thoughts on the Trump story and his company?
Everybody keeps saying, it's really, truthfully, what they're accusing him of is not some big monument.
Right.
They want him to flip.
Yeah. And
That's the whole thing. This is leverage. And kind of like what they did with Cohen. And he couldn't do enough backflips to get through that one.
It's true. It's true. That was remarkable, wasn't it? There was a guy who said, I would lay down my life for Donald Trump. And then, and then he turns around and gives up everything.
Well, there's a bullet's quick.
Yeah.
Jail is not.
Right.
So,
yeah. It's long suffering. So maybe Weisselberg will crack under this and just say, what?
It depends on how the organization treats him. With Cohen, the minute stuff started coming out, he was churned upon.
Yes. Yeah.
And that makes it a little bit easier to go,
Yeah.
you want some help here? I'll give you some help. So I think a lot of it will depend on that.
Yeah.
And who knows what else is lurking?
Oh, yeah.
So even though they may have, charged him with this today, they might have another stack that they just keep padding.
Right. Yeah.
Or, well.
Got this on you, I've got that on you. We know that there's probably a lot of fancy footwork in in Donald Trump's income taxes. And
I have to say this, though, and this is in no way defense, but most big companies have lots of things that a grand jury should never see the light of day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of in defense of that.
In defense of the argument that this is a witch hunt, because if you look into any major corporation, there's going to be stuff. Yeah,
You sure are.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall?
Very definitely.
I just hope nobody's got a swatter. But
Yeah. Well, and I'm not sure how well I would face up to all that kind of scrutiny. I just don't have enough money to make myself a reasonable target, I hope, for the federal government. But it's stuff like. But then again, I probably err on the side of too much disclosure. We have a call here.
Yes, we do. It's Tom.
Oh, okay. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Butch.
How you doing?
I woke up with a stiff neck.
Uh-oh.
That's the least of my problem.
Okay.
My tree didn't blow the power lines down yesterday. So
Yeah, well, that's
it's going pretty good.
You have power, at least you're up on that for me, anyway.
Oh, you're out of power?
Yeah, but I've got a generator, so it's okay. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, I don't know that anything's going to come of this, but I heard he'd done all sorts of stuff. I mean, he like was renting buildings to the federal government, and he was taking money from it. And he's supposed to dispose himself of all this income and.
Almost everybody else who's taken high offices like this, not just the president, but cabinet offices, things like that. They divest themselves of any
That's
interest
the word I
in
was looking for.
Yeah, and he didn't do that. He said, "Well, I'm going to have Eric and Don Jr. run the company." But they were coming back and telling him everything, right?
But there's $622 million of campaign contributions, and they can't even account for it. Nobody even knows where it is. The people, because I was getting these things, and they had me fill them out, and my wife looked it up, and the average contribution was $2,500 that people were sending this guy.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's pretty high. That's kind of
what?
That's $2,500.
Well, yeah.
When I think Bernie Sanders said his average was $22 or something like that.
No, but you hadn't seen this. It was a full questionnaire. There must have been like 80 questions, and I start writing them up sideways on the line on the page and stuff. But I never sent it in because he wanted postage to send the thing in. So
oh, geez.
he basically was after money.
Yeah.
But I just don't know that anything's ever going to come. Have you seen Independent Lens's thing about Agent Orange?
No, I haven't.
Well, they had all this Agent Orange, and they made them stop using it in Vietnam, and all these people were saying it's safe, and even the guy. So this guy up in Portland, Oregon, they were clear cutting all these forests, and they were coming in with these helicopters and just spraying it all over the place, and they had 50,000 55-gallon drums or whatever, but they were bringing it all from Vietnam all over the place. They were taking it and spraying it in West Virginia.
That's incredible.
But this guy that was in charge of it from the EPA was saying, "Oh, this stuff's perfectly safe. It's safer than aspirin." Well, go ahead and take a big shot of it or something if you think it's safer than aspirin. But all these people that lived around there in this rural community, they all had miscarriages, and they were interviewing the opticians, his husband and wife team, and they says you would only see like one case where their baby was born with no brain and stuff. He says we had like two of them, and most opticians would never see such a thing, but there was just hundreds of miscarriages, and in Vietnam to this day there's still all these kids born, and they showed these pictures of these babies, and it was just.
So the Agent Orange that was sprayed in the late 60s and early 70s in Vietnam is still poisoning people? Still?
Yes.
And who is Tom? Who's responsible for doing this in Seattle and in West Virginia?
The forest industry and Dow Chemical made all this stuff, but they wouldn't let them use it in Vietnam anymore in 1974. So they start bringing it into the States.
Oh my God!
But it's running off these mountains, going right into the stream that they get all their drinking water up to this day, and it's really messed up. And they were interviewing the guy that was spraying it, and he can't even hardly breathe. He's got blood running out of his nose and everything. It's just this lady from Vietnam tried suing this chemical company in France, and they dropped the case and stuff. I mean, you can't win. I mean, I don't know what this Justice Department's all about, but I mean. Unless you're Bill Cosby, you really don't have a chance.
Apparently, yeah.
But if you get a chance, watch this. It's in Independent Lens. They're showing it probably.
Independent Lens. Okay, yeah, I'm going to check that out. That's fascinating, and I'm always interested in such things.
It was really sickening when they showed the babies and all. But these people in the 70s, they lived. There was like a rural community, and they were farmers and stuff, and they were saving all these frogs with 6 legs and just all these mutant animals from the streams and stuff. But this people from the government, they came and took all their stuff and said, "Well, we'll test it and everything," and they never saw it again.
Yeah. Well, we tested it. And, I don't know.
Well, no, but nobody ever got back with them. I mean, these people were following them around all hours of the night and stuff. It's just it's scandalous, but it bothers me to live in a country that does this sort of things. And they were saying it was just like biological warfare, what they did in Vietnam. But.
The idea of Agent Orange was to defoliate. In other words, get rid of all of the brush and the growth where the Viet Cong guerrilla fighters
Right.
hid, because that's how they were kind of winning the
But they
war.
showed-
You know, go ahead.
They showed them spraying it. They had like these 2-inch hoses, and they were just spraying it just willy-nilly all over the place and stuff. But this one guy came back, and he fathered a daughter, and she was born or missing a leg and half her fingers and stuff was gone. I mean,
That's just horrible.
I mean,
Yeah.
and his wife wasn't even exposed to it. But
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, just bad enough. Yeah. One more
I don't want
time.
to bring it. Huh?
One more time, Tom. Where can we catch this, or where did you?
It was on Independent Lens
It's
on PBS.
PBS.
Lens. Oh, and it's on PBS.
PBS,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, good.
But I don't want to bring you down anymore.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Lighten me up a little bit, all right?
No, I appreciate the input, Tom. That's great. Thank you so much for calling in. And,
Right.
just to make sure that we keep everybody's spirits high, after we take the break, we'll come back and talk about Bill Cosby.
Oh, all right. See you,
All
man.
right, thank you. Bye-bye. You're listening to The Variety Show, normally with Bill DeFabio, today with Butch Maxwell guest hosting. We'll be right back.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Carrie Hudasek. Governor Jim Justice is congratulating the most recent winners in his Do It for Baby Dog COVID-19 vaccination lottery sweepstakes. Sharon Turner of Morgantown won $1 million yesterday and explains what she plans to do with the money.
So many things, pay off some bills, maybe find me a place to live that, I can call my own and help my kids.
Justice also stopped in Frankfort and Parkersburg to congratulate Tracy Brownell and Sierra Jacobs for winning custom outfitted trucks. All three of West Virginia's congressional delegates believe statues representing former Confederates from their current display at the U.S. Capitol should not be removed. State civil rights leader David Freisen says Confederates have no claim to that space.
Those positions, at the Capitol are positions of honor in terms of our democracy. And to have a Confederate statue there that was actually in opposition to the democracy as we know it, I think it's the right thing to take.
Congressman David McKinley and Alex Mooney, as well as Congresswoman Carol Miller, all voted against the House bill yesterday. A Wood County grand jury has indicted a man for allegedly setting a Little Debbie truck on fire back in April. Chad Wilson of Parkersburg faces third-degree arson and destruction of property charges. The truck caught on fire and destroyed all inventory. Gilmer County officials are set to open the Glenville Roundabout in a ceremony next hour. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Charleston business leaders say there needs to be more protection for the LGBTQ community. Rachel Kaufman, president of TSG Consulting, hosted a roundtable discussion Wednesday where she had this message for businesses wanting to open up.
Who you are directing services to are the constituents of the community. And I think the first step is to be open and show that you are welcoming to everyone in the community.
West Virginia is one of 29 states that lack full non-discrimination protections. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Carrie Hudasek.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Getting a COVID-19 vaccine is the best way to protect you and your loved ones. The vaccines have been tested, they're safe, and they work. And they're available at pharmacies in many locations across West Virginia. Making the choice to get vaccinated means getting West Virginia back to regular life. Here's West Virginia University men's basketball coach Bob Huggins.
The pandemic took away the greatest home court advantage in college basketball, our Mountaineer fans. I'm Coach Huggins, and I'm tired of empty arenas, masks, and social distancing. That's why I got my COVID vaccine. They're safe, free, and available almost everywhere without hassle or delay. Let's work as a team, get vaccinated, and fill a Coliseum next season. I'm Coach Huggins. I got my COVID shot. Now the ball's in your hands.
Get your free COVID-19 vaccine today. Find a location near you. Visit vaccinate.wv.gov.
Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
Hey, it's Olivia with Winging It with Sonia and Liv. This is the Watchdog Community Calendar. Friday, we've got Flashback Fridays at Wheeling Park. We've got First Fridays down at Center Market, and that is featuring the Red, White, and Brew Festival. The Muddle's going to be playing. Friday, we also have the patio parties up at Ogilvy and Route 88 Barbecue, with both featuring live music. This weekend kicks off Independence celebration all over town with Friday at the Highlands, July 2nd, featuring Patriotic Santa. Don't forget Sunday Fun Day at Ogilvy with fireworks going to be ending the day. The Rumors is the band, and it's going to be great. And then Sunday, we've got the big Wheeling celebration with the Wheeling Symphony down at the waterfront. For a complete listing of what's going on in Wheeling and Ohio County, go to visitwheelingwv.com.
Well, howdy, it's Howard Monroe coming up on the Friday edition of the Watchdog Morning Show, always the Friday Roundtable. Newspaper editor John McCabe and I will kick around all of the Ohio Valley news of the week, and there are a number of things that John and I are going to get into. Plus, we'll have the Friday Funnies, always a fun way to kind of head off into the weekend, and it is going to be a holiday weekend, so we'll take a look at some 4th of July, Independence Day, travel tips for safety. All of this and more coming up, the Watchdog Morning Show. Tomorrow begins at 7, right here.
Oh, I just had to let that go on a little while. I just kind of,
Fine with me.
Yeah. Devo, Whip It. Yeah, great stuff. I remember the first time I saw Devo, like many Americans who first saw Devo on Saturday Night Live. And they didn't play Whip It. I think Whip It actually came out later. They did a very bizarre version of the Rolling Stones' Satisfaction. I Can't Get No Satisfaction. And it was so unusual that it really caught a lot of people's attention. Who are these weird people doing this weird version of this very well-known band or well-known song? But yeah, Whip It. And that's a song that the M80s does, and the band that I'm lucky enough to be a part of. And in fact, I'll just mention too that you can get your chance to see the M80s coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. You might hear an ad for the Party on the Plaza, and you can get your tickets from partyoftheplaza.org, I think it is. And the M80s will be there along with a couple of other bands, and it should be a really great time. And it's all a fundraiser. It's to raise money for the WVU Children's Hospital. So,
what is the date?
The date is Saturday the 10th. And it starts early. It starts at 4 o'clock. And here's a spoiler alert for you. The M80s kicks it off at 4:30 p.m. We're gonna be there, the first band to play. So after, the good news for me is after that, I'm going to stick around and party on the plaza. It's going to be great. So I hope you've got your tickets. You can get them right now in advance. They're going to be, I think they're still cheaper if you buy them in advance. I know there was an early bird that's kind of gone, but you can still get them. It's very reasonable. And there are going to be food trucks there. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And this is all sponsored by the Saints and Sinners. So good stuff, and you'll be helping a good cause too. So, all right, let's move on to talking about Bill Cosby. Yeah. So we thought we might have heard the last of Bill Cosby, but he's back in the news. He's out of jail. Bill Cosby, as you may know, was accused of misconduct by 60 women. 60. It's a lot of women who agree that Bill Cosby did some pretty bad things. Mostly all we heard about was him drugging drinks and taking advantage of women. During the height of his popularity, a lot of this was after the Cosby Show when he was on tour, et cetera. But some of them, the charges go way back. He was convicted in 2018 of drugging and sexually assaulting one woman in 2004, but the court had ruled that a deal he struck with the prosecutor to avoid prosecution in exchange for a deposition in a civil case had been improperly used against him, and that he should not have been charged in the criminal case. It's a little confusing, but basically they're saying a procedural error means that they should reconsider that. Now, Cosby tweeted, in fact, I have always maintained my innocence. And yes, Cosby is an octogenarian who played a TV dad, a beloved TV dad in the 1980s and early 90s comedy that bore his name. Before that, I know Howard was a big fan of Bill Cosby, as I was. I grew up memorizing his records, I could, at one point, do his entire Noah's Ark thing, where Noah would just say "right" to everything that the Lord said, and then eventually, the punchline was that the Lord said "right" back to him. But he was a very, very funny man, and I think he fell particularly hard because he was this beloved TV dad. How could he be this guy who drugs women and then takes advantage of them? I don't know. Some believe, in fact, Cosby was arguably the first casualty of the hashtag Me Too movement, along with Harvey Weinstein sometime later, I think, Weinstein. Yeah. So some people might perceive that the norms have changed, over the years, and that men now know that they can't get away with the kind of behavior that they once used to. I mean, and I'm not saying that these people did this, but say in the days of the Rat Pack, or that the Mad Men, where everything was all right, for men to do and to take advantage of women. But now we know that's wrong. Well. Come on, I got to call BS there. We always knew it was wrong.
That's right.
That's crap. If anything, since Cosby's time, the world has become less safe for women, and thanks to the very place that the hashtag Me Too movement originated. Sexual violence against women is regularly enabled both online and in mass media in new and ever more dangerous ways. Cosby's alleged to have met his victims in person, but today there are ways to match sexual offenders with women, making it even easier for perpetrators to find victims, and they're called dating apps. In 2019, the Columbia Journalism Investigations conducted a study which warned that it was not scientific. So I've got to add this caveat that it may not be a truly random sample, but I think it's at least good anecdotal evidence. So with that caveat, just take that and keep that in mind. They surveyed 1,200 women in America who said they had used dating apps, and more than a third of the women said they were sexually assaulted by someone they met through the apps. That's a pretty staggering figure. A third of everybody using this, of all the women using this, say that they were assaulted. If that's anything close to accurate, and it may not be, again, remember my caveat, I don't know that this was an actual representative sample, but it does point to, at least anecdotally, some evidence saying that sexual violence is astonishingly commonplace. I'm not saying it's more frequent or less frequent, but it's something that we really have not really fully come to terms in recognizing in this society. There are now some of these dating apps like the Match Group, Match.com, Tinder, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid. They say that they have a background check, which is supposed to help with security. But what it actually does is create a false sense of security among users, because the databases may be incomplete, and of course, users can just make up fake identities, and there's no way online to check them. So Tinder announced that it's going to roll out an in-app background check feature later this year. So at least you could attach a phone number with the number that with the person using the app, and so it's traceable, because somebody can use an alias on the app and it's not fixed to the phone number. So at least you could know who subscribes to that telephone. Now, this has not been something that's been codified into law anywhere, at least in the United States, although they are considering it in the UK and in the European Union. So that's kind of another wrinkle, and I know that's not directly, it's only related to the Cosby outcome, because it makes it clear that victims need far more support than they're currently getting, including help in documenting evidence and building strong legal cases. And they also need help rebuilding their lives after they've become victimized, from mental health services to maybe finding new jobs after leaving an abusive employer. The bottom line here, at least for me, is that Bill Cosby cannot be dismissed as an anachronism. In fact, since the period during which he was alleged to have assaulted women, the internet appears to have only deepened the dangers of sexual assault for women. In this sense, it's a bitterly fitting. It's somehow bitterly fitting, I think, that an actor accused over and over and over again, 60 times, of sexual assault is still called by some America's dad. Sexual violence has become a pervasive American problem, primarily against women, but not always, sometimes against men too. And we've talked about on this and other programs here when I've been in the seat, at least anyway, with especially with the good folks at the YWCA who run several services for victims of domestic abuse. And if you find yourself or you know someone who needs help, then by all means, please contact the YWCA. If nothing else, they are a great resource for a whole lot of other community services. So if they can't directly address the situation you've got, they can move discreetly forward in helping you find the services that you or your loved one needs during this time. So that's it. So what do you think about Cosby? What do you think about this?
You know, it ticks me off is he's standing up there saying, I've been vindicated. No,
No.
you haven't. A jury convicted you.
Yes.
You are a sexual predator.
Yes.
And, you know, to try and spin it that because somebody, and it's ironic, the prosecutor that made the deal with him initially on the deposition and they're not going to charge him, you know, for criminally. He's another one of these off-the-wall guys that, you know, has defended some really heinous people since then. What I find really disappointing is that the prosecutors then, because it was the same person, it was the woman that accused him, the last one, the only one they could actually charge him with.
Right, yeah.
It was her civil case that he got the deal on. And, you know, at some point, there is a paper trail back to that agreement.
Yeah.
And for the second set of prosecutors to not, I don't know if they're trying to say they didn't know about it, is just ridiculous, you know? So it's just unfortunate,
Yeah.
you know? And I so feel for all the women that really went above and beyond to bring this story to light. And now they're left with
No sense of justice
no.
at all.
No, and it really, you know, and one of the most important things about deals like that is you have to walk into any kind of a legal proceeding, whether it's civil or criminal, trusting what you are told as far as, you know, a deal or anything that's being made. Now people won't, you know, how can you walk in and go, you know, and they tell you, well, we're going to do this and this and this.
Yeah.
How do you trust that what they're telling you is really going to come about?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so it's really, you know, a black mark on.
Yeah, it's not going to encourage people to report such
No.
things, and it's
So,
a shame. I'm glad in so many ways to see the Me Too movement get such traction. I'm concerned that there may be some backlash, but you know, it's a painful thing that we need to, and you know, my gender needs to come to terms with this. There are a lot of people that really have not gotten with the fact that we need to treat women better. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. All right. I have one little bit of shameless self-promotion to do right at the end of this hour. Mystery Theater is back. We do comedy, original comedy, interactive murder mystery dinner theater. It's all for laughs, folks. It's just fun. It's just fun.
Hilarious.
It's
it is so much fun.
yeah, there's a mystery to solve. Yeah, but that's not. And yeah, there's some interaction, but we don't make you if you don't want to. So don't worry about that. If you don't want to do something, we won't ask you to do anything. But a lot of people enjoyed taking part. It's a scripted show, but there's a lot of improvisation. There's some musical parodies, but it's, you know, the singing is sometimes it's good, sometimes not. But it's just a whole lot of fun. So and it's only $20. It's $19.95 per person. That's for a dinner and a show. The only extra expenses is whatever alcohol you consume or other beverages, and tax and maybe a gratuity for your servers. But it's good food. It's kind of buffet style generally, and it's a lot of fun. We are playing tonight at River City and tomorrow at the View in Grandview Park. The show we're doing is How the West Was Dumb. And it's going to be great. Now, this is the last time this summer that these shows will be offered. We're not able to do anything in August. It's just too crazy. So these are the only shows we're doing this month or next. But there's still time to make reservations. We got pretty full houses, but there's still time to squeeze you in. call this number, the number I'm about to give you, and for River City for tonight's performance, 304-233-4555, or for tomorrow's performance down at Grandview Park at the View, it's 304-845-9810. 845-9810. Okay, so that's Mystery Theater Unlimited coming to you tonight and tomorrow night. Call those numbers to make your reservations. All right, when we get back, after we take a little break for the news, I've got a very special guest. I'm going to be talking to Levi Lindemann. And Levi is, I think he's 8 years old. So the youngest guest I've ever had on here, but he's doing something very special to raise money for St. Jude's, and I just want to share this with the world. So do stick around. You're listening to The Variety Show, normally with Bill DeFabio, today with Butch Maxwell, and we will be right back after these words and the news.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1 W251CY, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7 W249DU, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. President Biden in Florida today, along with the First Lady, 1 week after the deadly condo collapse in Surfside. 18 people are dead, including 2 children recovered yesterday, 145 still unaccounted for.
President Biden is spending his day in Florida showing his support to the families of the victims in the condo collapse, to first responders and to local officials. In a briefing with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Senators Rick Scott and Marco Rubio, and the mayor of Miami-Dade County, he offered for the federal government to pay 100% of the costs incurred to the county and state for the rescue operation.
I think I'm quite sure I can do that.
Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
The president said he is, quote, deeply disappointed in the Supreme Court decision upholding Arizona voting restrictions. Democratic leaders reacting too.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer labeling the Supreme Court's decision one of the darkest days in all of the Supreme Court's history. The 6-3 decision was made along ideological lines. The court overturning a lower court ruling to uphold Arizona's policy of invalidating ballots cast in the wrong precinct and a law that criminalizes collecting mail ballots by third-party community groups or campaigns. Schumer saying this decision only further underscores the need for Congress to act on voting rights legislation. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
The Trump Organization's longtime CFO, Alan Weisselberg, facing a court hearing in the next hour following a grand jury indictment on criminal tax charges. ABC's Aaron Katursky is tracking the case.
What unfolds in court this afternoon, we think, is just a first strike involving Weisselberg and the company itself. And I think for the company, there is some concern that once you're indicted, do banks start calling in loans? This could have real financial consequences for the former president.
ABC's Aaron Katursky reporting. You're listening to ABC News.
What if I told you you could save 50% off your monthly cell phone bill without sacrificing your service? This is Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst, and I'm talking about H2O Wireless. If you're with AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, you're just paying too much. Listen to this. You can get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 a month. That means the average person is probably saving $400 a year. You might use that to fund your emergency reserve fund or pay down some credit card bills or put some money in your retirement plan. And you know, switching is so easy. You can keep your phone, keep your number. You just have to swap out your SIM card. You get the same great service you currently have, but at half the price. Right now, you can save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. That's pound 250 and say keyword Get H2O to start saving today.
Andrea Constant, Bill Cosby's chief accuser, speaking out after his release from prison yesterday. The 83-year-old actor is a free man after Pennsylvania's highest court overturned his sex assault conviction, ruling that an agreement with a previous prosecutor prevented him from being charged in the case.
Cosby's conviction was seen as a big win for the Me Too movement and personal vindication for more than 50 women who accused him of drugging and assaulting them. Constant calling Cosby's release, quote, disappointing, adding that the court decision may discourage those who seek justice for sexual assault in the criminal justice system. And Lisa Lott Lublin, who accused Cosby of drugging and assaulting her in 1989, says he got off on a technicality.
ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi. This July 4th weekend, more Americans expected to be on the move since the start of the pandemic.
The travel rush is officially on, with an estimated 47 million people beginning their 4th of July journeys across America and beyond. 3.5 million are expected to fly this weekend. United CEO Scott Kirby telling us the busiest day so far for air travel could be today.
July 1st is going to be the busiest day since COVID started, but it'll only have that record for 4 days because July 5th is going to break it.
ABC's Gio Benitez. In China, celebrations marking the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party. President Xi Jinping vowing that the country would no longer be, quote, bullied by foreign countries. This is ABC News.
Mike, I understand you need the part.
Carly's Car Shop demands more engine-fixing horsepower. They need to floor it to find their staff some backup.
We need to finish up that coupe today. It cannot be here for another 2 weeks.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
This is ONN. Governor Mike DeWine signed the state's 2-year, $74 billion biennium budget into law just after midnight at the start of the new fiscal year. DeWine says he's proud of this budget.
A budget that invests in the people of Ohio, and a budget that invests particularly in our children.
According to a press release, DeWine included 14 line-item vetoes, including one that was an order that would dismiss and refund businesses for violating COVID-19 safety requirements during the pandemic. DeWine says Ohio law should not reward businesses and individuals that violated orders and rules that were adopted to protect Ohioans. The state legislature does have the opportunity to override DeWine's vetoes, but it's unclear if Republican leaders in the House or Senate intend to do so. And as the Delta variant of the coronavirus increases, some places such as Los Angeles County have reinstated mask rules indoors. Gabriela Garcia with affiliate station WBNS-TV in Columbus reports.
Dr. Mashika Roberts from Columbus Public Health says staying cautious is never a bad thing.
Even if you're vaccinated, if you feel more comfortable wearing a mask, particularly where you don't know the vaccine status of others around you, then you should continue to wear a mask when you're in those settings.
Dr. Roberts says she personally still puts her mask on when she's inside around people she doesn't know. She also recommends keeping your mask on hand while traveling. Reporting in Columbus, Gabriela Garcia.
And I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
Thank you for riding with the Watchdog. Live and local, just the way you like it.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Experience Hot Roddin's biggest party of the year at America's favorite car show. It's the Good Guys 23rd Summit Racing Nationals, presented by PPG. And it's happening July 9th through 11th at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. See over 6,000 hot rods, muscle cars, and trucks through 1987. And don't miss the Good Guys CPP Autocross Series, featuring the Forge Line Buckeye Shootout. And see who's crowned the Good Guys 2021 Classic Instrument Street Rod and PPG Street Machine of the Year. It's July 9th through 11th at the Ohio Expo Center. Get details at good-guys.com.
Technology can be challenging for business leaders, but Omni Strategic Technologies enables your business to perform without limits. They're the only IT company the Watchdog trusts. Omni offers IT managed services, cybersecurity and advisory solutions, backup and disaster recovery, and can handle all your hardware needs. If your business is faced with any technology challenges, the answer is simple. Call Omni Strategic Technologies at 304-242-7600 or visit them at www.omniperforms.com.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Mostly cloudy with showers and storms likely. A daytime high near 76. Overnight low of 59 degrees with continuing showers on and off. Otherwise mostly cloudy. Partly cloudy for your Friday. A couple of raindrops around late in the day. A daytime high near 77. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
And welcome back to part two of The Variety Show right here on WKKX. I'm Butch Maxwell, guest hosting for Bill DeFabio. Bill will be back tomorrow if everything goes well, and we think it will. So, yeah. But I'm here along with Lola Miller, and we're just tripping through the light fantastic of an afternoon here of rain and the summer. It's summer in the city. And I've got a guest. I do have a guest on the line, right? I've got a guest this half hour. I've got Nina Lindemith and her son Levi, and I'm been looking forward to speaking with you guys on the air. Hi, are you there? Hi. Hi. Hi, Nina. Oh, I got both of you on the line at the same time. That's great. Levi, how are you? Good. Good. Well, the reason why I wanted you to come on the radio and talk today is I know that you have been doing something very special in order to raise money for an organization. And so I'd just like for you to tell us a little bit about that. So what are you doing and for whom are you doing it?
I'm doing it by St. Jude, and I paint pots and cans that have plants in them.
Oh, so you paint these pots, little pots or pans or other interesting little containers, right? And you paint them in a creative way, and then you put little plants inside of them, right?
Then I sell them.
And then you sell them, right? And how much do you sell these things for?
$5.
$5. Not, pretty much pocket change for most grown-ups. Levi, I need to ask you this. How old are you?
7.
You're 7. 7 years old. Good. Now, so this sounds like a nice little business for you. To maybe to make some money. So are you keeping this money?
No.
No? Okay, well, what are you doing with the money that you make from selling these plants?
I donated it to St. Jude.
To St. Jude's. That's fantastic. St. Jude's. Now, what does St. Jude's do? What can you tell me that you know about them?
I think it's a hospital.
Uh-huh. It is, yeah. And do they specialize in a particular type of patient? Kids. Yeah, so you're helping other kids, right?
Right.
Yeah, and one thing that you learned about St. Jude's that I think probably helped compel you to do this is how much they charge the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how much does it cost the kids when they get sick to go to St. Jude's to get better?
0.
0. That's great. That's so good. What and how do they manage that? Is it through things like what you're doing and other things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. So you're doing your part to help help families who have little kids who get really sick get better, so they can and not have to worry about paying for it, right?
Right.
Yeah. What gave you the idea to do this?
Home Alone.
Home Alone. Home Alone 2. Home Alone 2, the movie.
Yeah.
So
The bad guys were robbing a toy store, all the money was supposed to go to children.
yeah, and the bad guys were going to take the money, and then the money wouldn't go to the children at St. Jude's, right?
Right.
Yeah. So did you then, when you saw this on the movie, did that make you think about the poor little kids who are sick? Is that what motivated you?
Yeah.
Very good. Do you know anybody else who's doing something like this?
So?
No? It was all your idea, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, now tell me. Didn't your mom say, "Hey, Levi, why don't you do that? Why don't you raise money for kids?" She didn't come up with that? That was that was all your idea. That is terrific. That is a great thing. So how many of these have you made?
About 100.
About 100. So, boy, at $5 a piece, that's like, oh, I don't know. Can you do the math for me? How many dollars have you raised?
5.
$500? 500. Yeah. That's great. That is terrific. And who do you sell this to? Just anybody who would want them?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you live in Pennsylvania. You live up sort of in the northern part of Pennsylvania, so it's pretty far from where we live now. But I'll bet you've got some way that people could order them, even if they live pretty far away. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
How could they do that, Levi?
Facebook.
Facebook. All right, just Facebook. Okay.
Or newspaper.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
We went to Blossoms on Facebook.
Okay. All right. We'll get that. We'll get that. Have your mom kind of reiterate that a little bit. So, are you going to keep doing this, Levi?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. And have you ever thought about maybe someday going down to visit St. Jude Hospital sometime?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool, wouldn't it, to see what they're doing down there and how the money that you've sent them is being used, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does it make you feel good to do this work?
I feel proud.
You feel proud. I think that's good. I think that's great. Yeah. So I think what you said again was Hope Flowers, like HOPE, Hope Blossoms. So it's Hope Blossoms, right? Hope Blossoms on Facebook. So anybody out there in our listening area, or really anywhere in the world, anybody, because we're streaming over the internet right now too. So anybody who has internet access can help Levi's cause to help all the children at St. Jude's Hospital by going to Hope Blossoms. Just search on Hope Blossoms on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
Nina.
it's under Levi's Hope Blossom.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you for the clarification. So Levi's Hope Blossom. Okay, so you're going to spell it. It's LEVIHOPE Blossom. Yeah, Hope Blossom. And I can tell you don't live in the area we do because I can hear a train right now. I think that's a train. We used to have those here. Great, Levi. Levi, is there? Nina's Levi's mom, and she's helped to coordinate this call at my urging. I know Levi had some medical challenges early on in his life. Can you share a little bit about this, just as by way of background, so that listeners can appreciate this?
Yeah. So Levi was born several weeks early with some complications. He had a hole in his diaphragm, so his stomach, intestines, and spleen were actually in his chest instead of in his abdomen. So we were sent to a large hospital, and there we were told that Levi had no chance of survival. So my husband and I both still prayed, and we believed that God was going to save our son, and luckily he did. So Levi spent the first 5 weeks of his life in the NICU, and he had surgery at 5 days old, which corrected everything. Unfortunately, all of our prayers were answered, and he had everything he was supposed to have, and everything was corrected. And so now we have a wonderful 7-year-old boy. Levi's always been very kind and very generous. So when he watched Home Alone, which was his favorite movie this year at Christmas time, he asked us why did the toy store want to give money to a hospital? And my husband and I explained to him, that being in a hospital is very expensive. You pay for medicine, pay for everything. And he was very upset by this. And what did you say, Levi?
I don't think kids are not prepared to be healthy.
That's good.
So that's what he said. And so he wanted to come up with a way to raise money. His first thought was to sell all his sister's toys. So once we told him that was not going to work, he had to come up with another idea. This is what he came up with.
And he did
come up with... He started this in January.
He came up with this idea.
This all on his own.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So he loves gardening. So it's kind of like a natural, and he loves artwork, so it's kind of like a natural transition for him. So he started this in January. We thought he would just do a couple and sell them to our family. But it's grown into a passion of his. And he's probably sold over 100 at this point. And we've donated close. It's going to end up being close to about $1,000 once this last batch goes out. So he it's been wonderful. And several people have also from far away have given a donation, and they asked him to then make them for just anybody else.
Oh, that's really nice. That's great.
Right. And so in that situation, what we're doing is we're making them and we're donating them to nursing home patients.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there's something else our listeners could do too, because it might be not all that cost effective to ship a plant down here or something, but they could just donate or ask that he send a plant to somebody else or something like that. So, and you can all do that through Levi's Hope Blossom on Facebook. Yeah, that's fantastic. And I can just tell you from having encountered, having met and known Levi, he's an extraordinary child, right, in so many ways, but he is so smart, and he's tiny. He was a preemie, so he's a little bit smaller than you might expect a 7-year-old to be, but oh boy, just all personality and charm and intelligence, and clearly from this too, just a good, empathetic, good human being, giving human being. I'm so glad for what you're doing, Levi, and I really appreciate your taking the time to talk with us on the radio about this, and maybe we can help get some more donations, some more sales for you, or at least maybe even just some flat out donations so that you can pass that along to the children at St. Jude's.
Thank you.
Yes. Levi, thank you so much. I know you've got both of your sisters involved in this little enterprise too. You've got two younger sisters, and I know that I have a piece of art from both of them as well as from you at my house too. So I'm very glad to participate, and I wish you all of the luck in continuing to engage in this. This is what we call altruism. That's just giving up some of yourself for other people, and it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Nina, Levi, thank you so much for talking with us today. I appreciate your sharing this.
All right. Thank you. We appreciate it too. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, that was Levi Lindemann, who they live in a small town in northern Pennsylvania, and you know, full disclosure, they're part of my wife's family, and that's how I was onto this. But I just thought this is an incredible thing, and you know, honestly, Lola, this kid, they gave him no chance of living, and it was horrible, and yet some really bold surgeons took him in at Children's Hospital, worked on him, and today he's thriving. You know, and now, you know, contributing to society, you know.
He's so smart.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, I'm glad that came on.
7?
He's 7, and he will talk to you about anatomy. You know, at first, okay, he one of his first things was dinosaurs. He loved talking about, a lot of little boys like to talk about dinosaurs. Well, he knew a lot about them, researched them, and knew, you know, and could, you know, say, well, it's not actually a brontosaurus. That, you know, now we call it something else. He told me, I forget what it is now, but so okay, dinosaurs are one thing, but then he started talking about physical anatomy and things like that. I'm like, my gosh, this kid knows more than I do, and he's like 6 years old. This is incredible. So yeah, that's. But I did think, okay, yeah, he's part of my family. But I did think it was worth sharing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, and this is not his first radio interview, by the way. So this wasn't exactly an original idea of mine. I heard it. I had heard him a tape of him doing it at one of their local radio stations. You know what? Next time I get an opportunity, I'll interview you.
When you said a 7-year-old, so many times it's all you get are really one word. Yes,
right.
No.
Yeah.
And I thought,
yeah.
Butch, do you know what you're doing? This could maybe not be so swell. But oh my gosh, he was just astounding.
He was good. Yeah. You do get some of those little one words. I know that because I think the first time I was interviewed, I was 5, and I'm sure I was terrible interviewing. You know, how old are you? 5 1/4, I said. And then after I got off the air, this was a television interview, and after I got off the air, my dad said, oh, well, the guy gave me a quarter then because I was 5 1/4. So after I got off the air, my dad said, you should have told me you're 5 3/4. You're right, Dad. You know. Hey, there's a lot going on coming up this weekend. After all, it is the 4th of July weekend, and after all, this is a variety show. So I thought I'd tell you about some of the things that are happening. I know that tonight would normally be a Fort Steuben summer concert series date, and it may be happening, it may not be. These happen at the Fort Steuben replica.
Fort, yes.
Yeah, at the Fort. And it's a nice venue, it really is. I've played there a couple times, seen a few shows there as well. Tonight is the Ron Retzer Trio, along with the Fossils, my very good friends, the Fossils, and you know Mary Blake is a member of the Fossils too. So they are supposed to start at 7 o'clock tonight, so I'm not. Again, I would just check your local see how it's going. I know there was supposed to be a Waterfront Wednesdays last night.
Well, they moved it. That was
Eli Lambie, right?
Yeah, and they moved it into the arena.
Yeah. So that at least with those, they have some place to go. So I'm glad that still came off. And but if you'd still like to see Eli Lambie, and you didn't see them yesterday for whatever reason. They're going to be playing. They're going to be playing at the Fort Steuben Concert Series this coming week on Thursday night, next Thursday, not tonight, but next Thursday. And I think they're playing at Ogilvy this weekend.
I think so.
Yeah, July 3rd. They will be playing at the Patio Party. That's Saturday night, and that showtime is 7 to 10 p.m. So Eli and the Mojo Kings, among the very best of entertainment right here in the Wheeling area. Also, let's see, Fire Pit Fridays apparently is over. I guess that just went through the month of June, and June is now history. But we do still have the Sunday Fun Day concerts that go on at the amphitheater up there at Ogilvy, and this week is a cover band called The Rumors. So those are from 6 to 9 p.m. I'm glad I checked on that because a lot of times, you think it's 7 o'clock. Nope, 6 o'clock for those performances. Again, that's also kind of weather dependent, but you might want to keep your eye on that. The Wheeling Park, over Wheeling Park, Flashback Fridays. Tomorrow night we'll be having a band called 7 South. They're a cover band. I assume rock, maybe rock and country, I'm not sure, but 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Did you notice I didn't say my very good friends there?
Yes.
It's not because I don't want to be very good friends with 7 South. I just don't know them.
Know them first.
Pardon me?
You need to get to know them.
I need to get to know them, and then they will be my very good friends. Coming up on those Tuesday concert series at either Wheeling Park or Garden Park. Let's see, this week is this Garden Park week or Wheeling Park week? This is, no, Mean Mr. Mustard will be at Wheeling Park in 2 weeks. So this coming
those
week.
Those are very good friends.
Huh?
Yeah, those are very good friends.
Yes, those are my very good friends, yes. Also, my very good friends, MSM, will be playing at Warwood Toe Tapping this Tuesday. My very good
Well, they will be at First Fridays and Red, White, and Brew.
Oh, yeah, that's right, which goes on tomorrow
Friday.
night, right? MSM and the
Gage
Muddle
Joseph
and Gage
and
Joseph.
Muddle.
Yeah. So three groups playing. Do you know offhand what time that starts? That's
I want to say 6.
6. Yeah. That's it. And it goes on. And it goes on for quite some time. So.
Oh yeah, until at least 11.
Yeah.
You know?
That's down.
And
on
all
the
those
line.
proceeds go to United Way.
Oh, good.
So
Good. All right.
yeah, and there'll be food trucks. and
Are there?
restaurants and-
Is there admission?
No, well, there's, Jess was explaining, you can get a beer mug and a band or something for one free drink.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much it is, but no, if you want to just go in and eat and have some beers, I mean.
And that's free as far as that goes.
Well, yeah, you got to pay for it.
Well, you pay for your food, but the entertainment itself is free. You can go down. Yeah, right. Okay, that's good. That's good. So don't say there's not a lot happening. Oh, also, 4th of July too. We should say this. They're having some kind of party down there on the riverbank with some kind of band.
Yeah.
I think it might be the Wheeling Symphony, and generally they play a variety of music, a lot of patriotic, John Philip Sousa, that sort of thing. But,
And fireworks.
yeah, but you're going to have fireworks at the end, and it's going to be great. Lola will be watching it from her backyard, right?
My porch.
Your porch. Perfect. Love it. So that's July 4th. So big weekend coming up. Whole lot of stuff happening, and remember, don't forget, that next weekend is the party on the plaza too. So, and you can get your tickets in advance by just going to partyontheplaza.org, and you can also, that also will help raise money for the WVU Medicine Children's Center. All right. So we're going to take our last break, and when we come back, I've got absolute nonsense and trivia for you. So if you want to spare yourself of that, give me a call, 304-214-1600. And we can talk about it right here. We will be right back after these words.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. West Virginia's 5 casinos have all had their operating license renewed. State Lottery Commission approving those on Wednesday. Lottery Director John Myers says he's been impressed with how those casinos have been able to bounce back from the COVID shutdown.
They were shut down 3 months, basically, from the COVID virus. And then we've had other restrictions on them even as we moved forward past the shutdown, and how far machines have to be separated. And that meant in some areas they had to reduce the number of machines operating and the number of tables.
The annual licenses go from July 1st to June 30th each year. Active cases of COVID today dropped again in West Virginia to 1,334. Hospitalizations stand at 76 statewide. The daily report also showed 56 new positives added in the past 24 hours and 6 deaths recorded. Officials say the number of infections from the Delta variant stands at a dozen. As for vaccinations, just under 64% of residents 12 and older have gotten at least one of their shots. Plaintiffs in a lawsuit over the opioid crisis in West Virginia have rested their case after weeks of witness and evidence presentation. The city of Huntington and Cabell County are suing the nation's 3 largest distributors of opioids, McKesson, Cardinal Health, and AmerisourceBergen, blaming them for intentionally dumping millions of painkillers on West Virginia and causing the crisis. The companies are expected to begin presenting their defense on Monday. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. There are flood watches all across the state today with cold front moving in from the west. That's spawning showers and thunderstorms, some of which may get heavy from time to time and cause flash flooding of streams in low-lying areas. The forecast for the holiday weekend looking much better. The West Virginia University Athletic Department has announced it will retire the number 90 of Darryl Talley during this coming football season. The East Cleveland native was an All-American at WVU in 1982 and played for more than a dozen years in the NFL, most of those with the Buffalo Bills. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on The Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. Chris Paul scored 41 points, and the Phoenix Suns defeated the LA Clippers last night in Los Angeles 130-103. The win advances the Suns to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1993. The Suns will await either the Hawks or the Bucks. That series is all square at 2 apiece with Game 5 tonight. Tampa Bay defeated Montreal 3-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals last night. Game number 2, they take a 2-0 series advantage. Mississippi State is college baseball's national champion after defeating Vanderbilt in Omaha last night 9-0. The championship is the first for any team sport in Mississippi State athletics history. Download the Score app today, lightning fast sports alerts, so you never miss a thing. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on The Watchdog.
O'Reilly. Ready for your next road trip? Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts to get everything you need to stay safe while traveling. Visibility on the road is so important and so easy to achieve. Get your windshield streak-free and crystal clear with Blue Magic Glass Cleaner. On sale now, 2 for $5. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. No one is funnier than you. People laugh just thinking about the things you've said. I'm laughing at one of them right now. Coworkers repeat your jokes at the office, but they're never as good as when you tell them, and shame on them for trying. There. Don't you feel better? You'll also feel better knowing you could save when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Although I'm sure you'd have a funnier way to say that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Getting a COVID-19 vaccine is the best way to protect you and your loved ones. The vaccines have been tested. They're safe.